We're going to clap on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go. Oh, you hit your thumb. Dang, that's crazy, boy. Jeez. You all right? You good? All right.
Did it start? Did it start?
Hold on, you're okay. Relax. You good, bruh. Remember, this is what we do in the truck. This is what we do at the dinner table. This is what we do. That's all we do. Is allowing people to see what we do.
Welcome back to the beautiful breakdown with the boys edition.
With the boys edition. Yeah. Hey, we are back, guys. Welcome to the beautiful breakdown. I'm your host, Rodney. I am joined by my beloved son. What's your name?
Josiah.
And my other beloved son,
Eli.
And we are here with another edition, Breakdown with the Boys, and we are journeying through the book of Proverbs. Like I said, the goal of this channel is to see the saints to become scholars, and I really believe that it starts at home. It starts with the family. So I want to encourage parents. I want to encourage kids. Hey, you can study the Bible at home amongst your family, and you can all learn from each other. So last week we talked about Proverbs not last week.
Bruh.
I know.
Yesterday. He means yesterday.
Not yesterday.
We talked about
the last recording. We talked about Romans chapter 1 and verse 2. Good gracious, I said Romans. The last video we talked about Proverbs chapter 1 verses 1 through 2. So we're going to read those verses again. Eli, if you don't mind, can you read Proverbs chapter 1 verses 1 through 3 for me, please?
The Proverbs of Solomon, King David's son from Israel. Their purpose is to teach wisdom and discipline, to help to understand wise sayings. They provide insightful instructions, which is righteous, just, and full of energy.
Awesome. You can pause right there. All right. So we talked about last time, Solomon breaks down the purpose of the Proverbs are to bring wisdom, discipline, understanding. We really went deep into those words. This time, I want us to take our time and go through the next set of words that he mentions these Proverbs bring into our lives, right? So he says the purpose of these Proverbs is that we would receive instruction, prudent instruction. When you think about instruction, Eli, what comes to mind?
Like giving something that you have to do.
Telling someone what they need to do? Yep, great.
Giving like clear. So hard to not use the word instruction, but defining it. But like giving somebody clear, like clear things to do.
So you could say clear direction.
Clear directions.
So here's some directions, right? So y'all sit still. Y'all wiggling, wobbling all over the place. Crazy bus. All right. So look. So it can mean direction, correction, training, teaching. Meaning Proverbs, the wisdom of God that he will share will bring direction to our lives. Some of these principles that he's teaching will help to guide us into the right direction. All right. He uses this other word, Eli. He says the purpose for receiving instruction in righteousness. Now we got to break this down. What in the world does righteousness mean? What do you think righteousness means? What does righteousness mean to you?
Being right with God.
Being right with God. What else?
Having pride in good things.
Ooh, I like that. Having pride in good things. Break that down for me.
Since you're kind of prideful for some things that you think that you can do and then fail because you get too prideful, you could do the same thing but do it for good and not get too prideful about it.
Or get too arrogant or cocky.
Yeah, so I like that though. Being proud, being confident to do right things. Right now, here's a definition. This is the biblical definition, by the way, parents, for righteousness, and even in our church, this is something that I really walk through. I really take my time walking through with people what righteousness means because it's incredibly important. So I'm going to actually do this with my boys now. But righteousness, here's a simple way to understand what righteousness means. It's what is right in the eyes of the Lord, what God finds acceptable and approved of. So when God looks at something, if it's acceptable to him, then he would consider that to be righteous. You understand? So imagine if I told you guys to cut the grass. And you cut the grass, and then I drive home, and this has happened before. Eli, do you want to tell that story when I drove home? Tell that story real quick.
And so once my dad told me to cut the front of the yard, and then he had to go do something, like go to work or like go to the gym or do something with his friends. So when I say that I'm finished cutting the grass, I miss like a whole section, or I kept curving and like swiggling in the lines that were supposed to be straight, and then he made me do it over, and I had to cut the back.
Yeah, that sounds pretty savagery, but that's kind of how we get down here. But anyway, essentially, that's a good example of what righteousness feels like and looks like. It's when I got home and I looked at the product of what Eli did. I looked at his work, and when I looked at his work, how he cut the front yard, did I find approval in it? No, there was a disapproval because it was not done right. So righteousness is something that can only be filtered through the eyes of the Lord. So as God looks upon something, if God finds it's acceptable, if God finds it approved of, then it's right. It's righteous. Equivalent to, hey, when I pull up, like I just pulled up, you guys cut the grass Thursday. I pulled up, I said, man, this looks dope. This looks good. You guys did a good job. So when I look at your work, when I look at the finished product, I say, man, this is good. This is acceptable. This is approved. Daddy's stamp of approval. It's righteous. Very equivalent. So he says this, God's wisdom will give you instruction in what God finds acceptable. So what are some of the things you think God finds to be righteous or acceptable?
Somebody turning away from darkness.
Someone turning away from darkness? What does that look like, though? What's an example of someone turning away from darkness?
Like getting baptized, or like having your house cleaned of bad spirits.
My boy Josiah went all the way into the deep end. You said baptism and getting your house cleaned of spirits. So y'all can also see how we get down. We talk about some stuff, right? What are some other examples of what God would find to be acceptable or righteous in his eyes?
About the talent that you have.
What about the talent you have?
Like, I feel like that God is righteous, that I can draw, and that I love the animals that he created.
Okay, so essentially you operating within the gifts God given you, you would say God will look upon that and say, this is acceptable. Okay, but here's some basic things, right? Would you consider,
Or being grateful.
Grateful, gratitude. So you would say gratitude is something that is righteous. I would agree with you. What about being generous?
Or like the fruits of the Spirit? The
fruits of the Spirit, absolutely, right? Generosity would be one. So do you think God would look upon generosity and say, oh man, this is unacceptable. I don't approve of generosity.
No.
Right? Do you think God would look upon joy or peace, right? Someone trying to keep peace. Eli, the middle child, is the peacekeeper in our family. Like, he is the voice of reason. So Eli, when Eli's trying to keep peace in the house, would you say God would find that to be acceptable? Or would you say God would look upon that and say, what is he doing? Why is he trying to keep peace in the house?
Look at that acceptable.
Right. So all of these things Solomon is saying, these proverbs are instructing us in what God finds to be acceptable and also what God finds to be unacceptable. So that's what righteousness means. I know we took some time with that. So let's keep going. He also says this word. He says instruction in righteousness and justice. What does justice mean to you?
Like a superhero.
Being powerful.
Being powerful, justice. All right, break that down. Where are you going with that?
I think justice means like you have justice over people. So like the people respect you.
Okay, Josiah, what are your thoughts?
Or like conquering something or someone. Or like being like all powerful. Everyone looks up to you. Like Jesus has justice over the world or justice over Satan.
I think I see where you're going. Like you're seeing justice as like there is a resolution. The problem is solved. Good wins. Good is victorious. Is that what you're seeing when you talk about justice? I would agree with you, right? Here's a simple definition for justice. It is the fair act of deciding a case or a matter. So essentially, justice is the ability to understand what's fair and what's not. And can you make an adequate or good decision as to what's fair, what's not, what's right, and what's wrong? Give me an example of what you think injustice, which is the opposite of justice. Give me an example of what you think injustice would be.
Doing people like bad things.
People doing bad things. Eli.
Like when people can't trust you. When people can't trust you to do something that's actually easy.
So injustice would be some way, somehow you've presented enough information to someone that
they can't trust you.
Helps them to see like, I don't know if I can trust this person. Meaning maybe you haven't been fair in a situation. Maybe you haven't adequately decided between right and wrong in a matter. And that leads someone to say, I don't know if this person is a just person. Or I don't know if this person is going to do things in a just way.
Like Jesus has justice over Satan.
Hey.
But Satan has like injustice over us or like over something else or like bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, Satan encourages injustice, right? Wouldn't you say when you guys went to see the Black History Museum, do you remember that? Some of the things that you saw depicted in that museum, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel like all the bad things that happened to my ancestors, it made me feel disrespected.
Right? It bothered you. And what bothered you was that the sense of injustice. You felt like, hey, those people were not treated fairly. They were not treated right. Eli.
What I feel like that's disturbing is why do white people treat black people horrifyingly bad if we're the same but just a different color, just a different skin tone.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And just for clarification, because I don't want to get canceled out here in these streets, it's not all white people, right? You guys have friends that are different color than you, right? Right? You guys got a lot of friends actually that are a different color than you. Have they treated you unfairly?
No.
They haven't treated you unfairly. So unfortunately, yes, that was a period of time where a lot of people were treating other people unfairly, right? And in an unjust way. But it doesn't mean that all those people that look the same as the people that were treating people with injustice are the same, right? So we don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush. No different than I want people to paint us as brown people with a broad brush of, hey, those are thugs, or those are bad kids, or those are dangerous kids. Like, no, like you guys are intelligent, merciful. Now we dangerous, right? We get busy in these streets. You know, we You know,
we
tell
know
them.
how to be a lamb and we know how to be a lion.
Ooh, what does that mean? Real quick, and then we're going to move on. What does that mean?
It means that we know how to be soft and gentle and good around people, but when like someone tries to do bad to us, we know how to get like big and bad.
Boy, you better stop playing. We know how to be lions and we know how to be lambs, right? I drill that into my children because who's going to kill the wolves? We going to kill the wolves, man. If everybody's afraid of the wolves, if everybody's running in fear and terror of the wolves, who's going to stand up and kill the wolves? Come on, somebody. So we all can't be, I know I'm getting off track. My wife is so gracious, but we this is my thing, y'all. We have to raise our boys to be, and our daughters, but we have to raise our boys to be strong, to be confident in who they are, to be dangerous if they need to be dangerous, but to also be compassionate, merciful, and gentle as they need to be compassionate, merciful, and gentle. And that would be just. That would be the just thing to do. All right, let's keep going before I get in trouble, because Eli took us there. Real quick, the last word that he used, he says righteousness, justice, and integrity. What does integrity mean to you?
I forgot. I know what it
Intelligent is an intelligent person will be someone who's like really smart, has a lot of knowledge of things or wisdom.
Integrity. So you're saying that, are you saying integrity is the equivalent to intelligence?
Yeah, it's the same word.
No, it's not the same word.
It doesn't mean the same thing though.
No, it doesn't mean the same thing. An intelligent person can be a person of integrity. Go ahead, Eli.
Like, some people can be intelligent, but intelligent can be bad sometimes because you can be intelligent of doing bad things and good things.
But what is it that you need in your heart in order not to do the bad things? What kind of
Jesus.
character do you need to have?
The character of Jesus.
Right? Which is integrity. So here's a simple definition for what integrity means. It means no crookedness or bias, living a straight and honest life. So integrity means that I'm not given to doing things in a crooked manner. I'm not given to lying. Because would you say lying is a straight and honest pursuit of something? Or would you say that lying is actually a crooked way of going about handling something?
It's a crooked way because honest is the complete opposite of lying.
Okay, now stealing. Let's say, would you say stealing is a crooked way of going about pursuing something? Or would you say working hard, earning your money, and purchasing or attaining whatever it is that you want? Would you say that that is a crooked or that is an integral way of doing something?
An integral way path.
Now integrity comes with intelligence, right? There's a different kind of intelligence. There's a wisdom, there's an understanding, a spiritual, moral understanding that you have that informs your integrity. So the reason why you don't steal is because you have been informed that stealing is wrong and that stealing is dangerous, not only to you, but to also the people that it's affecting. Would you agree? Right? So integrity, it does walk hand in hand with intelligence. It's just an intelligence that comes from God, an intelligence that leads to a right way of living, not a crooked or personally biased way of living. Meaning that it's only about what you see and it's only about what you want, and no other opinion matters. No other form of truth matters. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and land the plane here. And how I want us to land a plane is based on what we've talked about today. Just to recap, we talked about instruction, we talked about righteousness, we talked about integrity. What is a message that you want to leave to children your age or children around your age as it pertains to what we just talked about today?
Listen to your parents and have integrity with your schoolwork and other things like that in your chores, and try to have fun.
And try to have fun. Okay, I like that.
And if you're having hard times with some things, you should start reading the Bible and praying about what you're having hard times of. And if you can And if you have bad habits of things, pray so that you can get the strength to stop doing bad habits or put those bad habits to good things.
Hey, somebody, go ahead and drop that mic, Pastor Eli. Somebody in this place. No, that was fire, my dude. That is something we should all do. That's something Daddy has to do daily. So once again, this is the beautiful breakdown. Thank you guys for joining the Breakdown with the Boys edition. Be on the lookout for the next one. See you later. Like, subscribe. What am I supposed to say?
Turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video.
And link in the bottom description
It's Daddy's book.
Daddy's book and the notes that we're covering today, so you can walk through this with your kids as well. All right, let's tell the people deuces. And what did you say the last time?
Stay Gucci.
Stay Gucci, y'all. Stay good. All right, peace out, y'all. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.